Welcome back, and this week on Public Affairs on Pitch, we are exploring fun trips you can take by using no more than, well, just one tank of gas. And this segment, we head up to Cartersville in Bartow County, where there are not one, but two museums we think are worthy of a visit. The two gentlemen to my left are Tom Chenal, Director of Marketing for the Booth Western Art Museum, and David Dundee, astronomer from the Tellus Science Museum. Thank you, gentlemen, for showing up today.
Howdy, Gloria.
It's going to be wonderful. I'm trying to get adjusted because, you know, you got on the big hat. I want to measure up, right? You know, putting both of us to shame, isn't he? So wait, get this, because I'm going to start with you, Tom. First, you got to start by telling me how this, 120,000 square feet museum wound up in Cartersville, because I know a lot of people are thinking this is part of the Smithsonian, but it's in Cartersville. Talk a little bit about that. What's that about?
Yeah, so our museums were actually brother museums, Booth and Tellus, and with that, we're both Smithsonian affiliated museums. The really cool part about that is Cartersville is the smallest town in the country to have two Smithsonian affiliated museums. And so being brother museums and being able to partner with things like that makes it a great opportunity. And we actually are in Cartersville because the founding family wanted to give back to their community, and so they built these museums in the community that they called home.
And take us through some of the galleries there, because I know a lot of people are so surprised. I didn't even know that little fact that you just shared about. That's pretty doggone impressive.
It is, and both museums are. Booth Western Art Museum specifically is the only Western art museum in the southeastern United States. And we are the second largest art museum in the state, only behind that of the High. So we are really proud to be able to showcase Western American art. We do that through pop culture, American heritage, and Western art specifically. Two galleries that are really special that we like to make mention of. One is through our Southern heritage, that being the Civil War Gallery, and then our Presidential Gallery. Our Presidential Gallery houses an original portrait and an original hand-signed letter from every single president. George Washington through Barack Obama in public display.
Wow. Every single president.
Every single president.
That's pretty doggone
It's a special
impressive.
place.
Wow, 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 wow. Okay, let me switch to you, David, because one of the coolest aspects about your particular museum is that hands-on appeal. A lot of times kids want to touch it, feel it,
Absolutely.
see it. I mean, you know, you think about, you go to museums, you're like hands off, you can't touch it, but yours, they can.
Yeah,
Talk about that.
We're the only science museum in the state that's a Smithsonian affiliate, and 125,000 square feet of fun, from dinosaurs to gems and minerals and fossils. And we have an interactive children's gallery where kids can push buttons and press levers and have a great time. We have a large telescope which we have open for special events. We have a planetarium that is the highest visited planetarium of its size in the country.
Really?
So we see about 100,000 people through our planetarium, and so we talk about the stars all the time in the planetarium. We have the largest moon rock in the state. We're about to put on exhibit a MiG-21, an artifact from the Cold War. The only time a science museum in the country has ever had one. And so we have the first 18 feet of it, the two cockpits and the front end of this machine. And we have Superhero Day coming up on July 9th.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so you have to come by in your superhero outfit. I'm sure you have one, Gloria.
Oh, yeah, we got props at the house, let me tell you.
And so we have a night at the museum coming up in August where we have everything from Darth Vader to yours truly is Galileo. And so then you did an old man for the part. And
you know what, that's okay, that's okay. Absolutely love being in touch with our inner child. Here's something that really, really, I would be remiss if I didn't ask this, because Juno, you know, you talk about Jupiter and all that's taking place with NASA. Does that come up when current events are taking place in the news? You have a lot of people who show up. I'm sure they want to talk about that.
Sure, and that's why we have two live planetarium shows every day and, with our pre-recorded programming. So we keep up to date what's going on, and with the Juno spacecraft cruising around Jupiter, that's a big deal for us. And so we have special events when there are special activities. In fact, just be the first newscast in the local area to talk about this. August 21st, 2017, total solar eclipse comes right through the middle of the country. Ooh. Atlanta sees about 96% partial eclipse. Cartersville will be 97%, but we're very close to where the total line goes through, and we'll be the clearinghouse information on that eclipse.
That's good, because that doesn't happen often.
No, the last good eclipse for this country was 1970.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
That's really, really good.
Going to be a big deal.
Okay, so let me ask you really quick. Fossils, rockets, all of those things, that's there as well.
Absolutely. We have dinosaurs. We have a gem panning, a fossil dig area where kids can go and pan for gems and take home a bag of gems with them, and they can search for fossils and take an actual little fossil home with them.
Okay.
So there's all sorts of cool stuff that they can do.
Okay, and Tom, right before we run out of time, I want to talk to you about this Cowboy Symposium. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, you know, Cartersville or Georgia at one point was the Great Wild West, if you go back to early history. And so we like to bring the West alive in Cartersville. We have an annual Cowboy Festival and Symposium, a 4-day celebration of the West where the West comes to life. The paintings, the sculptures that we have on display in the museum, you will see those in true living fashion on this 4-day weekend in October.
Oh, wow. Everything from how they used to cook out over the rocks and everything. And I always say they stopped, you know, because this was the Wild West. They got tired of being on those horses.
They'd be part of it. You know, living wasn't easy back then, but they did it. And as you can see, they did it well. I mean, from chuck wagon cooking to Native American dancing and demonstrations, living
To
history,
all of that.
encampments, and even reenactments of gunfights.
Oh,
so
wow.
you'll see some of it all.
Wow, and the late Merle Haggard's son is coming this year as well.
We will. We're looking forward to that.
So there is a lot that's going to be there. Well, thank you, gentlemen. Thank you so very much. This is going to be great.
Thank you, Gloria.
You are absolutely welcome. David and Tom, thank you. So just one tank of gas. Do not worry. We got something else for you. Back to the mid-1850s. Our final destination after the break as Public Affairs on Peach continues.